Hi there, Stuart Howell here. I'm a hypnotherapist from Harley Street.
Hi, my name is Dr. Atiya Jones, and I'm a metaphysician, and I'm in Worthing, West Sussex.
Okay. Stuart, first, talk to us about what you do.
Well, I'm a hypnotherapist that helps, because obviously there's a lot of things that we can do, but I solely work on athletes, elite athletes, and quit smoking.
Dr. Atiya?
Wow, okay. Well, as a metaphysician, there's a lot that I can do. I practice complementary therapies. Some include Kundalini Yoga, Reiki, holistic life counseling, metaphysical hearing, spiritual mind treatment. So there is a list of things that we do as a metaphysician and a holistic medicine practitioner.
So both of you would agree you help the public to improve their lifestyle, way of life?
Yep, and something interesting that you just come up with, I just caught me there, is the yoga.
Yes.
I don't know, is it Kundalini?
Kundalini
Yoga.
Yes.
Now, when I help people with hypnotherapy, the first thing I say to them afterwards with the quit smoking is that you want to get exercise, you want to start looking after your body. So it kind of like it goes hand in hand with the hypnotherapy, to be fair.
Well, Kundalini Yoga, the good thing about that is because when people stop smoking, I understand that they have withdrawals from the nicotine and different psychological things that happens, their body responds a certain way. Well, practicing Kundalini Yoga, because they'll practice the pranayama or the breath work, which is breathing exercises to help them breathe through certain challenges. Also, the movement releases endorphins, so they're getting involved in the movement, and then the meditation just helps them bring them to a center. So it does go hand in hand.
Yeah,
you're right.
Because because obviously I was saying about the cravings, what I do is I set triggers for the future. So when they have a craving, funny enough, you're saying breathing. So when they breathe it, they get a craving, they'll start breathing in, and they'll feel good.
Yes.
But even though that's great, and it is fantastic for the client, what goes hand in hand is, like you say, the endorphins, because what happens is, if you just quit smoking and you do nothing with that, and you're not exercising, psychologically we get a little bit down.
That's right.
It's like with depression, it's like with anxiety.
Yes.
So what happens is that when you're getting the endorphin rush, you're less likely to get the anxiety, because there's a physical change and a mental change.
Yes.
So it's something that does, we say, complementary, not medicine, so to speak, it goes hand in hand very well.
Now, it's really interesting you say that, because as a metaphysician, what I would do is go to the root of how the smoking even became an issue in the first place. Yeah. So we'll deal with those issues and deal with what undergirds that behavior. So in practicing, just take holistic life counseling, for example, I would dig down and get to the root of when the smoking started, why it started, and deal with those issues to do life changes as well, because sometimes people will get rid of the cigarette, but they'll pick up something else.
Of course.
Because a person who's addicted to something, they might remove that particular vice that they're addicted to, but then they'll replace it for something else.
Yeah, of course. And I'm glad you said that, because when we take something away in hypnotherapy, it's like digging a hole in the ground. Now, if you just put a bit of turf on the top, and someone walks over that, they fall in that hole.
That's right.
Now, that, like you say, addiction, you do quit smoking. Now, if you don't replace that with something, that could turn into heroin addiction, cocaine addiction, so it could get a lot worse. So what we do is we get them to reconnect with themselves at a younger self. So what happens, they get reconnected, and then we do the quit smoking, because like you say, the underlying problem, the smoking is not the real problem.
That's right.
That's masked.
That's right.
That's
exactly
the end result.
Yes.
So, for example, when they were 7 years old, something horrific happened, they've held that guilt, or they've held that pain, they've held that hurt, they then go to smoking. Now, smoking is not the real problem.
Right,
so, like you say, go under the underlying problem. But yeah, endorphins is very underrated, because
I agree
you know,
with that.
The problem with that is, yes, you get endorphins with hypnotherapy, of course you do. But I'm very open-minded, and I'm not going to say just use hypnotherapy. With everyone I work with, it's, are you getting exercise? Are you getting enough exercise? And if not, why not?
Well, you know, it's interesting, because hypnotherapy is actually a metaphysical science. It is a non-traditional approach to dealing with certain issues, and that's That's one of the things about metaphysical science. It's not a Western way per se of doing something, but it's helping to connect body, mind, and spirit, and that's very important. And that's the thing about holistic approaches, is because it doesn't just deal with the physical issue, but it deals with body, mind, and spirit. Because a person is not just physical. We have a spiritual body. We have an energetic body. You know, we have a mental or emotional aspect to us, and we have to deal with all of those aspects of who we are to become a whole person.
Of course.
And that's why I love hypnotherapy as well.
Yeah, so. and obviously we had a conversation earlier off camera, which I'm going to share. There's no obviously details, but we drew a circle, and basically it was the metaphysical side. But in that metaphysics circle was like, if you draw a little circle in there, or two circles in there, you had your NLP in there, the hypnotherapy, and EFT. So what we found was that unfortunately with humans we're labelling and pointing. So NLPs are going hypnotherapy's bad, and you've got the hypnotherapists going NLP's bad, and the problem is it's all a part of one circle.
That's right.
So what happens is that with the obviously you've got the bigger obviously the bigger part of the pie, but I've got bits of that pie. But I'm not pointing things going, oh, you're different. But we have an understanding. If you put these two together, it becomes very powerful. It helps people even more.
Absolutely.
And if our industry understood that, if our industry understood that, you'd have yoga teachers working with hypnotherapists. You'd have personal trainers working with psychologists. You'd have all sorts of things that would build a bigger program for these people.
Well, hey, isn't it great that BWTM has got two of the greatest in?
Well, absolutely, but that's why it's called complementary therapies. Is complementary with the E and not the I. It's because they go hand in hand and they complement one another.